Most teams think they're dominating a low block, but they're actually playing exactly how the defense wants them to play. You've seen it, 70% possession, compact in the opponent's half, pass after pass and nothing. No penetration, no real chances, and the longer it goes on, the slower everything becomes, the sharper the defense gets, and the more frustrated the attacking team becomes. So here's the question. Why does domination feel so comfortable but produce absolutely nothing? And why do some teams break the system in minutes while others fail for the entire match? Because this isn't just about attacking, it's about control. Hi, this is Cyrus Fernando alongside FTG Intel from the Game Intelligence Football Analysis. And today I'm going to show you 3-step blueprint that actually breaks a low block. We've all been there. Your team is dominating the match. You have the ball, you have territory, you have control. But it feels like you're not getting closer to the goal. Every attack gets recycled. Every movement feels predictable. Every passing pattern looks the same. And slowly, the game starts to drift because the energy drops, the urgency fails, and the belief starts to disappear. Because that brick wall has a name, and it's called a low block. And it's not passive, it's not just defending deep, it's a system designed to frustrate you, to slow your rhythm, to limit your options, to remove your unpredictability. Because the moment you lose structure, that's when they counter. But when they attack the space you've left behind, that's when the parts of most teams never fully understand. The low block doesn't just defend space, it controls behavior. It shapes your decisions. It pulls you towards actions that feel aggressive, but are actually inefficient. Cross early, shoot from distance, force the final pass. And every time you do that, you reset the defense. And every reset makes them stronger. And the longer the game goes, the more the system wins. So this isn't about working harder. This is about thinking differently. Because once you understand the system, you stop reacting and you start controlling. And the blueprint is simple. Stretch, disrupt, exploit. First, you have to understand what the low block really is. This is not just defending deep. This is a highly structured defensive system built with one clear objective: protect the most dangerous space on the pitch, the central area in front of the goal. Everything is organized around that particular zone. The defensive line stays compact, the midfield line stays close, the distances between players are minimal, and that removes space. Not just physically, but mentally. Because now every attacking decision feels rushed. You feel like you don't have time. You feel like you don't have options. And that pressure leads to mistakes. Crosses into crowded areas, shots from distance, forced passes into tight spaces. And statistically, those are exactly the chances the defense wants you to take, because they are low probability and easy to defend. But here's what makes the low block so effective. The defense is not trying to win the ball back immediately. They're not chasing, they're not pressing aggressively. They are waiting, they are controlling space, they are controlling tempo, and they are waiting for the mistake. And once it happens, they transition quickly and directly into the space that you've left behind. And that's where it becomes dangerous, because now your attacking structure is exposed. Your players are out of position and your dominance becomes your weakness. And this is your psychological trap, because the more you dominate, the more you commit players forward. And the more you commit players forward, the more vulnerable you become. So now the game becomes a risk equation, and the low block is designed to win that equation, unless you change how you approach it. But here's the key. Every system has a weakness, and the low block is no different. Because it depends on structure. Every player holding position, every line staying connected, and the moment that structure breaks, everything opens up. So elite teams don't force their way through. They don't rely on the moment of magic. They manipulate the structure. Step by step, they stretch it, they disrupt it, and then they exploit it. That's the blueprint, and it's repeatable. At every stage of the game, from elite Champions League sides to developing teams trying to break down compact defenses, the principle stays exactly the same. The first step is horizontal because the biggest strength of a low block is compactness. So you attack that strength by stretching it completely. You make the pitch as wide as possible, and not with just one player, but with the entire attacking structure. Elite teams occupy all 5 vertical lanes: left wing, left half space, the center, right half space, and the right wing. And now the defensive block is forced to move. Shift, slide, adjust, communicate. And every movement creates instability because the compactness depends on coordination, and the coordination becomes harder the more the team is stretched. Now defenders are constantly making decisions. Do I stay narrow or go wide? Do I protect the center or track the runner? Do I hold position or step out? And every decision introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to hesitation, and hesitation is where mistakes begin. Now we introduce dual width. Winger wide, fullback overlapping or underlapping, 2 attackers, 1 defender. Now the defender is overloaded, outnumbered, and forced into a difficult decision. And once one side is overloaded, the entire defensive block becomes unbalanced because now the defensive line is stretched, disconnected, and vulnerable. But here's the key. Stretching does not break the defense, it prepares the break. It creates the condition. Now we move to step 2. Now we attack the structure directly because low blocks rely on discipline, players holding their lines, players maintaining their shape. So our objective is simple: break the line, because once the player steps out, the entire structure becomes unstable. And the most effective way to do that is movement. Intelligent movement, coordinated movement, movement designed to provoke reaction, movement designed to create confusion. This is where elite teams separate themselves through timing, through awareness, and through understanding space. The most powerful tool here is the third man run. Player A passes to player B. Player B receives under pressure. A defender steps forward, and that's the trigger. And in that exact moment, player C attacks the space behind. Full speed, perfect timing, 1 pass, and the defense is broken. And here's why it works. Because defenders react to the ball, not to the movement behind them. So by the time they recognize a danger, it's already too late. And it's not just one pattern. Strikers dropping deep, midfielders running beyond, fullbacks attacking inside channels, centre-backs stepping forward. Every moment forces a decision, and every decision increases pressure. And eventually, the structure breaks. Because low blocks don't fail due to the lack of effort, they fail due to overload. Too many decisions, too much movement, too much pressure, and now you've created that environment. Now comes the final step, because everything you've done so far means nothing if you don't execute here. You've stretched the defense, you've disrupted the structure. Now you have a moment, a small window, and it closes quickly. This is where elite teams separate themselves because they understand timing, they understand tempo, they understand when to accelerate, they slow the game down, they circulate possession, they move the defense side to side, they wait again, and just when the defense settles, they explode. The key moment is the switch. You pull the defense to one side, you overload that side, you force them to commit. And then you switch play. Fast, precise, explosive. Now the opposite side is exposed and the defense is scrambling. And this is where matches are decided. Now comes the final action. And this is where most teams fail. They rush, they panic, they cross blindly. But elite teams stay composed because they understand where the real opportunity is. Not the cross, it's the cutback. Because when defenders run toward their own goal, they lose awareness, they collapse inward, they focus on the ball, and they leave space behind them. Right at the edge of the box, that is the highest value zone in attacking football. And that's where goals are created. The low block is designed to frustrate you, to slow you down, to make you predictable, to make you feel like you're in control when you're actually not. But once you understand the system, everything changes. Now you don't chase the game, you control it. You don't force attack, you build them. You don't react, you manipulate. Because the best teams don't just attack, they solve problems. They stretch, they disrupt, and they exploit. And that's why they break even the most compact defenses. So if you enjoyed this analysis, then join me, Cyrus Fernando, for more tactical breakdowns from the 2026 World Cup. And subscribe to the FTG Intel from the Game Intelligence Football Analysis. And I'll see you soon.